It's Tuesday, Tuesday. Gonna talk pucks on Tuesday. We out here getting ready for the All-Star break. Yeah. Welcome back to Buzz Pucks.
I still hated it.
I know.
I know.
I'm glad you hated it.
Uh,
I'm Bert.
I'm Clay.
And we are here. What the hell week is it? To talk to you
16.
about week 16, the week before the All-Star break. And let me just go ahead and say this. Next week's episode is going to be really short.
Real short. There's like 5 games.
Yeah, there's
1 game tonight.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 games this week. I think some of them are some of them makeup games.
I don't actually think
there's
so.
there's games like until Wednesday, but just a few. And then nothing, and we're not going to talk about the All-Star break unless something crazy happens at it.
We don't care.
Like somebody gets in a fight, which would be really funny.
Someone just
But it doesn't matter. Like none of the players want to go.
no.
The skills competition's pretty cool.
A lot of injuries are happening this week.
Yeah, quote unquote injuries. I haven't heard an injury about Sidney Crosby yet.
I haven't
So
heard one about Ovechkin either.
I'm guessing maybe they made a pact together to go this year.
I think I saw that.
Or maybe the NHL was like, you're fucking going.
I think I saw Ovechkin. It's gonna be the first time like with his kids.
Maybe.
So yeah, I think.
As far as I know, Crosby does not have kids, but I have no idea what his private life is like. He keeps it that way. So yeah, next week it's gonna be pretty short.
It's gonna be light.
Yeah, I don't know, half hour maybe, but we do ramble a lot, so it'll probably be 2 hours. Hold on. Wait for Root.
It's a good chug.
Good girl. But before we get into week 16, what are we drinking, Clay?
We are drinking the Bellini Sour by, I just had it, frick, White Lion Brewing in Springfield, Massachusetts. It's a pomegranate. Oof. Pomegranate and raspberry sour. Yeah, it's a fruit ale.
It's so weird that I guess you do pronounce it as raspberry,
But it's
essentially,
rasp.
but it's rasp.
Yeah.
I always forget that P is in there. That's pretty good.
If you like raspberries and pomegranates, you're gonna like this beer.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh my goodness.
How purple is it? Is it really purple? Oh, it's not that
It's got
purple.
that light purple.
Yeah, it's a light purple.
Yep.
All right. Pretty good. Pretty good.
That's very yummy.
Springfield, Mass.
White Lion.
I never heard of White Lion before.
Me neither.
It's good.
Yummy.
I already like it. All right, you're going first.
All right. We're going to start with the Atlantic
Let's start with Boston.
Let's start
they had
with
a bad
Boston.
week for once.
for the first
Tap dancing
time.
on their grave. This is the end for Boston.
1, 2, and 1.
Hell yeah.
The wheels have fallen off. They're regressing to the
The
mean.
season's over. They're only 30 points up on second place in the Eastern Conference right now.
No, it's only 10.
Oh.
It's only,
Oh my God.
Sorry, 11. Wow. They're only 38, 7, and 5.
Terrible.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's weird. They've actually lost 3 straight games, right?
They've lost 3
Yeah.
straight. And they're the teams that you expect, or the places you expect. The South.
The South will rise again.
Yeah, this is the one time.
Moving on.
The one time.
the one time.
So they started the week by beating Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pasternak had a goal and 3 assists in that game. He had 4.9.
Awesome.
Then they went to Tampa Bay. All of these are on the road. They went to Tampa Bay and lost
Nice.
because Tampa Bay was wearing their reverse retros.
And so they were just so visually confusing that Boston couldn't win.
I guess because Vasilevsky is 4-0-1 in those jerseys, posting like a 9.35 save percentage with a 1.33 goals against.
I'm telling you, it's because they're visually confusing. They're other teams are just like, I don't even know what I'm looking at right now.
He just plays well in those jerseys, and
I think it might just be a coincidence.
Yeah.
And
But it's
Andrei
just fun.
Vasilevsky is just a very good goalie.
it's just fun. It's just fun to say. Then they lost in overtime to Florida,
Nice.
where I believe it was Barkov scored with a second left to tie the game.
Nice.
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen.
And then Riley scored in overtime to win it.
Nice.
I might be completely wrong and gotten them flipped. I know those two were involved in the last 2 goals. And then they got kind of smacked by Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina really pushed him around.
Carolina pushed them around. 1-4 loss there. Power play wasn't good. It was 1 for 15.
That
and
was bad. Yeah.
and penalty kill wasn't good for Boston. It was 8 for 11.
That's surprising,
Yeah,
actually.
exactly. They do get a top player because Pasternak had 2 goals and 4 assists.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Yeah.
he put up points.
He tried.
Him and Krejci really tried, but
They're trying their best.
that defense, especially in that Carolina
Those
game,
silly
was,
check men scoring a bunch of points.
Yeah, that Carolina game was rough defensively. A lot of
They were going to have a bad stretch of eventually, right?
it was.
That's what I kept thinking. I was like, they have to lose a couple of games in a row at some point.
But 2 of those goals, Aho goal and the Jarvis goal, were strips at the blue line and then breakaways. Yeah.
2, wow.
Yeah, 2 of those were.
One of those is already bad, too.
Yeah. And that was the first goal and the third goal. So, yeah, it was. Omar really didn't have much of a chance on those. Because it was effectively a breakaway.
Yeah. I always feel bad for goalies that get scored on the breakaway because it's so easy to just blame the goalie on that. But it's like, it's so hard.
You have all of the ice.
Yeah, it's so hard to defend a breakaway as a goaltender.
Yeah. We're done talking about Boston because they were bad this week.
Aha.
Who wasn't bad this week was Buffalo. They seemed to turn this bad month around.
Good.
They went 3-0-1.
Hell yeah.
All on the road again. All playing the Central. Dallas overtime win. St. Louis win. Winnipeg win. And then Minnesota with a shootout loss. So no shame there.
No.
Tage Thompson is their top player. Unfortunately, he's dealing with an upper body injury.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Well, again,
is it quote unquote injury just so he doesn't have to go to the All-Star game?
Maybe.
Yeah.
He had 2 goals and 5 assists in those games.
God damn.
Yep, and they are 26, 19, and 4. And they played all 3 goalies during this week.
26, 19, and 4 is not a bad record at all.
No, they are 1 point out of the wild card spot in the East.
1 point behind the Penguins.
1 point behind the Penguins, who are 1 point behind the Capitals. So it's
tight.
right there.
Tight. Will this be the year that the Caps and Penguins don't make it? And then
might be one of them.
And then one of them wins the draft lottery.
Oh my goodness!
Everyone else would be so mad if either one of those teams won the draft lottery. Especially the Penguins. People would be livid if the Penguins won the draft lottery somehow.
You get Lemieux,
Crosby, and then Bedard. If he lives up to as good as he seems like he's going to be.
His play right now is.
I mean, he's
stupid.
I think he's played 33 games.
Got like 60 goals.
And he has scored a point in 32 of those 33 games.
Right.
And the only game he didn't score in was the first game of the season.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he has some astronomical amount of points.
He's
just
tearing up.
whomping whichever one of the Canadian Hockey Leagues he's in.
Moving on to Detroit, who also had a good week. They were 2-1 this week.
Nice.
They also played most of their games on the road, but they started at home beating San Jose in overtime. Then they beat Montreal in overtime and then got shut out by the Rangers. They are 21, 19, and 8. Kopp got the overtime game-winning goal against San Jose, and then against Montreal, Mo Seider had 3 assists, but their top player is Michael Rasmussen, who had 2 goals and 2 assists.
They got shut up by the Islanders, not the Rangers.
I thought I said Islanders.
Maybe I misheard you.
They got shut out by the Islanders.
Okay.
Now let's confirm.
Well,
Islanders.
I could have sworn you said Rangers. That's why I was looking at my notes. I was like, I don't remember that.
A lot of the Atlantic played New York this week. Both teams.
Weird.
Yeah. Or at least maybe Atlantic.
They're like, go to Brooklyn and then go to Long Island.
Yep.
It's only like a 2-hour drive.
I didn't write the record down. Stupid.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Fired.
Florida.
Jenny's taking her spot. This will become a very different podcast.
I mean, we do have a lot of jerseys that they're putting out that she needs to rate. Like a lot of third jerseys, a lot of Stadium Series jerseys.
Oh, that's true.
Could have her back on to...
Or the thing that she wants to do, which is 80s mullet hair.
We can do both.
We could do both. That's true, yeah. We'll have her back on it sometime in the near future.
Yager's going to win.
I know you guys are dying to have Jenny back.
All right, Florida. 1-2-1 this week.
Okay.
Didn't start well. It wasn't.
That was that game against Pittsburgh.
It wasn't good for most of it. They started out by losing to the Rangers.
Oh, okay.
In a very lopsided win or lopsided loss, and then they went to Pittsburgh, and defense and goalies didn't matter.
Neither team wanted to play defense in that game.
That was 6-7. Actually, Jari went out.
He didn't even play that game.
He didn't play that game.
No.
So it was DeSmith.
He got hurt. It was a different injury from the one that he had just come back for. And apparently he came to the rink and Sullivan found out that he was injured and was like, no. And I don't know. I don't have all the details about it. I don't know if Jari was trying to like hide that injury or what, but
there was a chance. Well, at this point, because Lyon played all 4 games.
Yeah.
Alex Lyon played all 4 games because Bobrovsky got put on the IR officially, and Spencer Knight isn't quite back yet.
Yeah.
During this game, Knight was on the bench. They left the bench.
Yep.
So there was a chance that 2 emergency backup goalies could have played.
That's
because
true.
Neither team had a backup goalie.
That's right, because the Penguins only had DeSmith at the time.
Yeah.
And so I think their emergency backup goalie might be their goalie coach. I'm not sure. Or it might be Sidney Crosby.
Who knows?
Who knows? Because I know he is put on the goalie pads in practice.
I just want...
God, that would be so funny.
Not an injury. I just want both goalies to have food poisoning for a period.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been
just have diarrhea. That's
amazing.
Not that's not super serious.
Exactly. Just put 2 emergency backup goalies.
Oh my God.
The score would have made sense.
Can you imagine how much everybody would flip out if it was if Crosby was like, I'm donning the pads, and he like put on, and then he like played well,
right?
And people would be like, oh my God. It'd be funny. Yes, there was. I had forgotten about that. Yes, there was a chance. Yeah,
that 2 emergency backup goalies.
It did not happen. There was an emergency backup goalie.
It was not emergency backup.
Huh?
It was not an emergency backup scenario.
With Edmonton?
Correct.
It wasn't.
It was not.
Oh.
We'll get to it.
Okay. Somebody lied to me then.
The Kings, they lost to them 3-4.
I was like, oh, we're flipping to the Pacific.
And then they finished their week by beating Boston in overtime.
They did.
So they weren't dead yet.
I'm feeling better.
They're basically dead.
That's Buffalo. That's like, I'm going for a walk.
I'm not dead yet. Verhaeghe had 2 goals in the Pittsburgh game, and then Barkov in the Boston game had a goal and 2 assists. He got his 600th point in 638 games.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good clip. Their penalty kill was 8 for 12.
That's less good.
Yeah, it's less good.
Yeah.
But Barkov and Tkachuk were their top players. 2 goals and 5 assists for Barkov, and 1 goal and 6 assists for Tkachuk.
Pardon me. I didn't mean to snort into the mic.
Next up is Montreal. They were 0-2-1 this week for 20-26-4.
Good.
Losing to Boston.
Getting their tank ready.
Detroit in overtime. And then getting shut out by Ottawa. Like 0-5.
Nice.
Not good.
Sick.
In the Detroit overtime loss, Harvey Pinard, 2 goals and an assist.
All right.
I didn't know who he was, and
that's a really cool name. I love that name, though.
It's his last name.
The whole thing is his last. Harvey Pinard is his last. What's his first name?
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
It's not Harvey.
No.
Oh.
Harvey.
It's like Montembeau. I think I said that last week or the week
Pinard.
Before. I thought
it's hyphenated.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I think I said that last week or the week before, where I thought Montembeau, his name was Montan and then Beau. Yep. And that wasn't just his entire last name.
Kirby Dach had 2 goals, both goals in the Boston loss, and then also in the Detroit game, he feels that all cops are bad and knocked out Andrew Copp in one punch.
It's like, I don't know where you're going with that joke.
he knocked out
A-Cab.
he knocked out
one punch.
Yeah, Cobb in one punch.
That's gotta feel good.
I don't even know why Doc has been playing pissed for like a month now, and it's been great for Montreal. He
was like, man, I got traded from one bad team to another bad team.
He's crushing guys in checks. He's scoring goals.
Well, honestly, that's probably what they want him to do because he's huge. Isn't he?
Exactly.
He's like really big. And I remember that was one of the criticisms of him in Chicago was that he wasn't playing like a big boy.
Right.
And maybe maybe that was the coaches trying to get him to play not like that.
Right.
But Martin St. Louis is like, you're way bigger than me, as he's like looking up to him up in the sky. And he was like, go hit those guys.
Well, but you think about Tage Thompson, who is also really
very
big guy.
Large, yeah.
Everyone kept trying to make him play like a big guy and not be a skill player like he is.
Well,
and I forgot to mention this, Thompson has matched his points from last year.
Already. Thompson is a monster.
If you thought last year was a breakout year, he's breaking out from that.
Even further. Buffalo's got to be like, thank God we locked him down.
Yeah, 7x7, I think.
Yeah.
Because steal.
After this year, he's definitely worth more than that. Mm-hmm. And he's still like 25, or not even.
No, he's like 22.
Yeah, even better.
24, maybe.
But just on that point, really quick, I think there's a happy medium with big guys like that.
Right.
That it's like, okay, some of them throw the body more. Some of them are just like, some people just don't like hitting. Like I think there's a happy medium that they always have to find where it's a balance.
Yes.
Because you can mess up with a guy like Tage Thompson and like try to make him hit more and be like, oh, this guy's a bum, and then you trade him off to a different coach that's like, let's try scoring more.
I think
it's like a balance between like a playmaking player and a power forward.
I can't think of Buffalo's coach's name. It's
Granato.
It's Granato. Yes, yeah. Granato actually coached him in juniors. That's how he knew.
So he knew him already. Yeah. He was like, oh, I got this. Yeah, and it's working.
So play like you
definitely working.
Oh yes.
Like just play how you feel comfortable. Yeah. That's how they should. That's how they should try to get every player. Just be like, just do what you feel comfortable doing, and just play to your best. You know? Like not try to pigeonhole guys, because I'm sure many careers that could have been really good got messed up
by bad coaching.
At least for a little bit, if not the entire career, because coaches tried to force them to do something that
they weren't that good.
At. Like that almost happened with like Ovechkin for a little bit, right? With Oates.
Yeah, Oates.
Oates was like trying to play him on his opposite side. He was trying to like get him to like hit more and stuff, and everybody was like, "No,
stop! What are you doing? What are you
doing? What are you doing? Let him score 70 goals. What are you doing?"
He only scored like 30 that year.
Yeah. And there you go.
Yeah.
Only 30.
Only 30.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
All right. Montreal does not get a top player because
that's fair.
Just wasn't good.
Yep.
Overall.
Not a good team.
Nope. Didn't write their overall record either. What am I doing?
My Lord, who is this
Ottawa.
Man?
3-0 this week.
Wait, that's written right there. I can see it.
No, I mean overall record.
Overall
record. 3-0. I can count to 3.
You say that. I literally never say my team's overall records.
I can count to 3. I would hope.
I don't know. I've known you long enough.
So, starting out, they beat the Islanders at home. They went to Toronto, kicked the shit out of them, 6-2.
Wow! Look at them on a hot streak right now.
They finished it off by continuing to stomp Montreal. We just talked about this, 5-0.
And now all of their momentum is broken going into the All-Star game.
All of it's broken going into the All-Star game. Also, Cam Talbot is hurt with a lower body. Forsberg had to step in. Talbot he was 14 for 14 before he left during the Islander game. And then
bummer.
Forsberg let it a goal, but still, like,
that's not bad.
Not bad at all. Against the Islanders, Drew had a goal and an assist. Kachuk had 2 assists against Toronto, and then Giroux again had 2 goals and an assist against Montreal. Giroux's their top player, 4 goals, 3 assists.
Old man Claude. You folks at home might have forgotten that Claude Giroux is on Ottawa.
Well, also,
like I do constantly.
He plays like he's been playing like you've kind of forgotten that he's been there. But this week he really...
Why did you skip like 4 pages in your notes?
Because remember last week I skipped a page?
Oh, yes, okay.
I was mad. I'm still going to use them.
This is BTS stuff that you guys know. Clay messed up and his like pages got stuck together or something, and then he got mad at himself.
Yep, I'm almost through this book.
That's fair.
I can't waste any pages.
Fair enough.
All right, Tampa Bay is up next. They also went 3-0. 32, 15-1 on the season. They're in third. They beat Minnesota. They beat Boston. They beat the Kings. Vasilevsky played all 3 games, going 3-0 this week. Perry had 2 goals against Minnesota. Kucherov had 3 assists against Boston. And Perbix had 3 assists against the Kings.
Nice.
Kucherov is their top player with a goal and 5 assists. I hate how good he is for how stupid he is. He's literally a younger Malkin. He's just a younger Malkin.
It's so interesting that they play such a similar way. Like they're both really good, very skilled players, both from Russia, and they just take the dumbest penalties.
It's
like a keynote in Malkin's like entire career and Kucherov's.
If things are not going Kucherov's way, he is so dirty.
And, I wouldn't even call Malkin necessarily dirty outside of a few instances.
Right.
But, like, Malkin just takes stupid penalties for, like, no reason. That's the difference.
A weird slash.
The Penguins could be winning 5-0, and he'll just, like, take a really dumb penalty.
With Kucherov, it's mainly when the Lightning are losing.
Okay, so there's the difference. Yeah. Malkin is overall takes dumb penalties. While Kucherov, at least, it's frustration-based.
Last up is Toronto. They went 3-1 this week.
Ooh, catching up to Boston.
They are, again, 10 points.
Catching up.
31, 12, and 8.
It's like that from the original Pirates of the Caribbean when Captain Jack Sparrow was like, "We're catching up." That's for you guys out there. You're welcome. I know you could see it in your mind's eye.
All right. Samsonov played all 4 games this week. They beat the Islanders. Then they beat the Rangers in overtime. Liljegren had a goal and assist in that game. Nylander had 2 goals and 2 assists against the Islanders. Then they lost to Ottawa. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
But Toronto has one of the best records after a loss and turned around and stomped Washington.
That is interesting. Hope you guys are enjoying the background noise of my new neighbors downstairs.
Baby crying.
It's
because they're listening to us.
They're like in the process of moving in, so.
A lot's going on.
Yeah.
Tavares had 2 assists in the Washington win, where he also played his 1,000th game.
Wow. Man.
What, drafted in 2014?
That makes me feel so old. Because I was like, I remember when he was the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, that was so long ago.
Yep. But their top player is William Nylander, who had 4 goals and 3 assists this week.
Look at him.
Yes. I don't have all that much news.
Okay.
There's
not a ton of news.
I think I'm just gonna throw it all down right now.
Okay, go for it.
All right, we're gonna start with Anaheim.
Okay.
Shattenkirk is day-to-day with a lower body.
All right.
Buffalo, Cousins and Samuelson are both day-to-day. Cousins is undisclosed. Samuelson is a lower body. They missed the last 2 games this week. Calgary, Tanev is day-to-day with an undisclosed injury.
Mm-hmm.
For Edmonton, Skinner was out with a non-COVID related illness.
Got that flu.
Got that flu.
Or that cold.
Or that RSV. going around.
What is that?
It's an upper respiratory infection.
Oh.
It's more dangerous with babies.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. What does RSV stand for?
I cannot tell you off the top of my head.
Okay. Because somebody mentioned that
something virus.
Right.
Maybe.
Somebody we work with is ill currently.
Yeah.
And they went to go get tested for all of these things that we just said, and apparently it was none of those things that we just said. But they were like, yeah, they went and got tested for RSV. I was like, what is that?
RSV's been going around this winter, especially
that's what I had a couple weeks.
Especially in the New England area.
No, I had a cold. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
For Montreal, Edmondson is day-to-day with an upper body.
Can they trade him to Edmonton so Edmondson plays on Edmonton?
I mean,
please.
I would like that. I would like that a lot.
I would like that a lot too.
He wouldn't help them, right? Yeah, but he wouldn't help them.
Yeah, but it'd be fun.
Yeah,
it'd be fun for us.
For Ottawa, Kestelik and Talbot are both day-to-day right now.
Kestelik? Okay, I'm not saying you said his name wrong.
It might be
I don't know that name.
It might be a CH sound with that Kestelich.
Kestelich. Okay.
Day-to-day. Both are day-to-day. Kestelich with a undisclosed and Talbot with a lower body.
I think I've said this before. Every time it's an undisclosed, I just assume it's a really embarrassing injury.
Yeah.
Like I have a bruised testicle or something like that.
It's my coccyx.
My butt cheek has a bruise.
For Seattle, Matty Beniers is day-to-day with a upper body. He is missing the All-Star game.
Yeah.
For Tampa Bay, Rudolph Balcers got moved to the LTIR.
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah.
Also, for Seattle, Donskoy is kind of saying he might never play again because he is still dealing with concussion symptoms that he got in the very beginning of the year.
That's a bummer. Wait, who does Donskoy play for now?
Seattle,
that's right.
That
sucks.
For Toronto, Matt Murray is day-to-day with an ankle.
Also, certainly to miss the All-Star break, I'm sure.
Yes. But he actually,
he's been playing well.
So. Murray was supposed to play against Ottawa and then backed out the last
former
second.
team.
Yes, and he said he couldn't go the last second.
Oh, it's just like Jari. That's funny. Yeah.
So Samsonov got put in. He probably wasn't expecting, and then he got shelled. It wasn't a good scenario for him.
It was just a bad game.
But unfortunately for Toronto, Austin Matthews is out for 3 weeks with a sprained knee.
Yeah, that sucks.
3 weeks minimum with a sprained knee. He
hasn't really been having like a big year. They've been winning games. He's fine, but like
he's been dealing with injuries. Like he's been playing.
He's had an injury riddled season.
Yeah, he's been playing through some nagging injuries.
Which sucks as like a follow up to a 60-goal year last year, you know, an MVP year.
Well, this might actually be kind of good for him because he can't play with this knee injury, so it might let his back actually heal.
True.
Or whatever else it's bothering him.
I just see that picture of him that was taken, and I don't know where that picture was.
Wasn't it Vegas?
Maybe where he was like all tan and like he's balding a little bit, and it was just a really unflattering picture of him.
Yeah, he's all tan because he went home.
Yeah, because he's from Arizona.
Yeah, so I think it was like,
and he's half Hispanic.
I believe he is. Yeah. Yes.
I think his one of his parents is from Mexico. I believe
his mom is. So yeah,
it's a really funny picture, and it's just such an unflattering.
It's the receding hairline plus the
receding hairline,
the mustache,
plus the mustache. It was like I think I sent it to you when he was announced as the MVP. I was like, "This is your MVP," and it was just like this awful picture of him. I don't know who took that. He should be so bad at them.
Well,
he should sue them.
Honestly. The tan looked fake. It's not.
No,
he did no. But the lighting for the photo shoot just really.
Well, it was like if I remember correctly, it's all black behind him. Yep. I don't know if he was standing in front of like a black sheet or something, but like this lighting is just like right in front of his face. It's such a terrible picture.
All right, moving on to Vancouver. I kept wanting to put this in Toronto spot because I kept forgetting he's not playing for Toronto. Ilya Mikheyev.
Oh yeah. I forgot he was on Vancouver.
Yeah. He's been on Vancouver all season.
Had such a crap season that I forget some of the players.
He's playing well, but he's now on the LTIR because he tore his ACL in the preseason and is now, he scored a goal this week.
He's just been playing on that?
He's been playing on the torn ACL.
What a psychopath.
All season. Now, this goes back into the Ricky Westgate story.
Ricky?
The
Is that his first name?
I think, yes.
Oh, okay.
The investigative journalist talking about the Tormadol.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of people talking about it's just like, why are you playing? Why have you been playing? Was the team pressure
with a torn ACL?
Was the team pressuring him?
Maybe he didn't even know that he had a torn ACL.
He did.
Oh, okay.
They knew.
I feel like that's something you would notice.
So you can play on a torn ACL, but you can.
You can still like walk around on it. You can't run.
It can cause some structural damage.
Yeah.
So he had to come out and make a statement. It's just like, hey, I
love Toradol.
I was talking with my doctors. We were doing tests on this every single week.
Okay.
Basically, the way I tore my ACL was not going to cause any more structural damage if I kept playing on it.
Oh, okay. And he was just going to wait till the end of the season to fix it.
Well,
or whenever, season's over for Vancouver anyway, so.
Well, the reason he chose to get the surgery now, it makes him good for the start of next season. That healing process makes him good for the start of next season.
Look, I'll take him at his word.
So it's just like there was no pressure. I was talking with doctors the entire
time. He's like, guys,
time.
I'm not on Toradol. I just love cocaine, and it makes me not be able to feel anything.
Also, the thing for the whole like Toradol abuse is, I guess, the best word.
I would call it abuse.
It's not an addictive thing, but it's not for long-term use. And long-term use can do significant damage to, I believe, your kidneys or liver. It's one of the two.
I mean, that stuff is not meant to be taken like every day,
right,
or every week even. Unless you have a significant injury that you have to be dealing with, but like.
And the reason it was such a big scandal and deal in the past is because a lot of these players were getting these injections weekly without being told of the risks of that long-term use.
Good girl.
Sorry, I had to give my dog her meds.
So yeah.
Good job.
So he's done for the season. And he'll be back next season.
Yeah, that's fair.
But in good news for Vancouver, Andrei Kuzmenko.
Oh, yeah.
Signed a 2-year.
I was actually surprised by that, but, whatever. I guess he likes Vancouver.
He does. He really much likes Vancouver. He signed a 2-year, $5.5 million deal. It's a bridge deal.
It's not bad.
He also put out a big thank you to the Vancouver organization. That a lot of people were making fun of, just because
Oh, because of all the stuff that's been happening.
Well, one of the reasons he signed for Vancouver is Bruce Boudreau drove like 5 hours to like actually meet with him in person, and then they fired him.
And he's like, "Good, I hated that guy actually."
But a lot of the thank you is because he just secured generational wealth.
That's totally fair. Yeah, that is absolutely fair. If somebody was like, "Will you sign this contract for 1 year for $1 million?" I'd be like, "Yes, of course I will."
Yeah.
Because that will make my entire life the rest of the time totally fine.
$11 million for 2 years?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I was a world-class athlete.
And finally, I forgot to put this higher up with going down the alphabetical list. San Jose. Matt Nido heads to Colorado for...
Not just him.
He's the only NHL. Or the other guys, the other two guys are AHL.
Are they?
Ryan
Merkley?
Yeah.
I guess
he's on an AHL contract.
That's true.
But they got what McDonald?
Jacob McDonald.
Jacob McDonald
And Martin Kaut.
Yep.
As the trade. So, yeah. And
Nido is apparently only allowed to play for San Jose, and Colorado.
Yeah, and he scored.
Yes, he
this
did.
week for Colorado too, which is really funny. Yeah,
It stinks because he's from the San Jose area, but yeah,
he might go back.
he might go. He's only played for those two
He's
teams.
he's one of those players that just like bounces between a few teams.
Yeah, I think he
trying to
got
think.
drafted by Colorado,
I think he did. Yeah, he was there like a couple years ago or something.
and he got traded,
Yeah,
and then
it's
he
just
got
so
traded
funny.
back.
Players that are like that are like, well, for instance, this is topical. Josh Johnson, who just played poorly in a playoff game for the 49ers, but he's played for like
15.
15 teams,
Yep.
but like he's played for the 49ers like 4 times. He has like left and come back like 3 times.
It's
for
like
the 49ers.
Oh, I can't think of his name. The baseball player, Ricky Henderson. He played for like the A's 3 different times
Oh yeah,
in 22 years. Like,
It's always funny when guys do that. They're like, okay, you played for Team A. All right, okay, well, I'm going to sign with Team B because they're offering me more money. And then that contract's up. Like, well, I miss Team A. And then they're like, okay, like 2 years later, I'm going to sign with a different team. I'm going to sign with
Right.
Team C. I'm like, oh, I miss Team A.
A, yeah.
It's just so funny to me.
and that's it. I'm
That's
done.
all you got? Well, you're done for now.
I'm done for now.
All right, well, we're going to talk about the Metro.
Fine.
All right? We're going to talk about the Carolina Hurricanes who went 3-0 this week.
Good for them.
They beat Dallas in overtime, 3-2. Brett Pesce had 2 assists, and Martin Necas had the overtime game winner. They then beat San Jose in overtime, 5-4. Aho, 2 goals. Necas, 2 goals, including the game winner. 2 game winners for Necas this week.
Wow.
2 overtime game winners for Necas this week. And Svechnikov had 2 assists. And then they beat Boston, as Clay already mentioned, where they outshot Boston 36-25.
Yes, they did.
The scoring was really spread out for Carolina in this game. No one had more than 1 point. But Freddie Anderson, 24-25.
Good
in
for
that
him.
game.
Guy's back.
And their top player is Sebastian Aho, who had 4 goals. And, fun enough, their PK was 12 for 10 this week. They had 2 2 power penalty killing goals. Shorthanded goals. Oh my God, thank you.
I did forget to talk about one thing during the Boston Florida game.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about
Yeah.
the overtime wins?
Go ahead.
When Riley scored the overtime winner, the refs were waving it off because they said it hit the crossbar. So the refs are waving it off. All of Florida's celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
Swayman is skating away because he knew it was in.
Ah.
Like everyone on the ice, but the ref
And the refs were like, no, keep playing. What are you guys doing?
knew it was in.
It's always funny when stuff like that happens where it like hits the back crossbar and shoots out so quick that like
Yeah.
almost nobody realizes it. Because I think hockey is the only sport where they can actually put time back on the clock.
Yeah.
Because well, no, I guess I can do it in football too. But like they can add however much time they want. Because that can happen. Like a goal can be scored where they don't realize it, and then they can keep playing for like 5 more minutes.
And then Toronto calls in.
Yeah, and then like the puck gets frozen, and then Toronto, where the
refs,
control
coaches,
control center for the NHL is that are watching every game too, and they'll like signal down to the refs and be like, they scored. You have to put like 5 minutes back on the game clock. And they'll be like, okay, well actually Florida scored that goal, so we have to correct the game clock to 12 minutes left in the second period now instead of 7. And it's like
all those stats,
it's so funny.
and all those stats that happened beforehand
go away. They
never
didn't
happened.
happen. They didn't happen. It's so, and they can erase a goal.
Yes, they can.
Because obviously the first goal that's scored negates the second goal if it was missed.
Yep.
You know, so like it's just so funny that can happen. Anyway, let's move on to Columbus, who did not have a good week.
because it's Columbus.
Yeah, they're not having a good year, just kind of in general. And you know, you're in Ohio. 1-2-1 this week was Columbus. Shout out to my brother and sister-in-law if they're listening to this, who live in Columbus. Lost to Calgary in overtime, 4-3 to begin their week. They were outshot 49-25.
But it was
this
Goudreau's
game.
return to Calgary.
It was. He had 2 assists in the game.
He did.
We're outshot almost by a factor of 2, which is really funny. Lion A also had a goal and 2 assists in this game. They then beat Edmonton in overtime.
Yes, they did.
Shocking everybody, 3-2, where they were outshot again, 36-27. Kent Johnson had the overtime game winner plus an assist, while Boquist had 2 assists. Kent Johnson's having a pretty good year. I think he's had double-digit goals now. He's not a rookie, but this is his second year, I think. And they have Adam Boquist now, who is also a young defenseman. Columbus has some good young pieces there.
Yeah.
They're just destroyed by injuries this year. I mean, they weren't going to be a playoff team anyway, but they're extra not being a playoff team with all of the injuries.
Those injuries did not help.
No, they didn't, because they also lost to Vancouver. 5-2 was that game where both teams were 2 for 4 on the power play.
Yes.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Yes.
And Marchenko scored both goals for Columbus in that game.
Good for him.
And then they lost to Seattle 3-1.
Yep.
That's it. That's it about that game.
Yep.
They have 2 top players. Line A goal and 4 assists this week, while Marchenko had 4 goals this week. Marchenko, also a good.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% certain how old Marchenko is. On the younger side, playing pretty well for them.
Yeah.
So they have, I feel like if they work it correctly, they have a bright future. Not this year, though.
Nope.
New Jersey, 2-1 this week. They beat Vegas in overtime, 3-2, where Jesper Bratt had 2 assists, Hughes had 2 assists, and Dougie Hamilton had 2 goals, including the overtime game winner. Dougie Hamilton's been on a heater the last few weeks. Yeah.
It was a very pretty goal.
Yeah. He's scored a bunch of overtime goals the last few weeks. I believe he was the one that scored against the Penguins last week or the week before.
I think he had 2 overtime goals 2 weeks ago.
I think so. He's having a good month. They then lost to Nashville 6-4.
Mm-hmm.
On the bright side, Hughes had a goal and an assist, and Dougie Hamilton 3 assists in that game. And then they beat Dallas in overtime 3-2, where Jack Hughes had 2 goals, including the overtime game winner. Jack Hughes and Dougie Hamilton, unsurprisingly, are their 2 top players of the week.
I think that Hughes kid's pretty good.
I think he's pretty good. The number 86 playing for New Jersey, I
think his brother's pretty good too.
Both of them?
All 3 of them.
All 3 of them?
Yeah.
Interesting. Be really interesting if all 3 of them played for the same team.
Right. They got 2.
Not Vancouver. He had 3 goals and 3 assists this week, while Dougie Hamilton had 2 goals and 4 assists this week. The Islanders had an all right week. They went 2-2. They lost to Toronto.
It's not good for them.
No.
To make the playoffs.
No, not right now.
No.
That's just treading water numbers right there, which is not what they need to be doing.
Not in the East.
No. The East is a bloodbath, as it was last year, too. As it is every year.
I think it's worse this year. Compared to last year.
You're right, because the top 8 seeds were pretty much set from Thanksgiving on last year. This year, not so much. I mean, Boston is pretty much... The top is pretty much set to at least make the playoffs.
The top 3 of it, the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And the Metro.
The top 1 to... maybe the top 3 of the Metro. But, the rest of it is going to be... I really hope the trade deadline is interesting, but I don't think it's going to be.
Oh, there's a lot of talk about Bo Horvat. A lot of talk.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going to go. He might go to a team that's already solidly in the playoffs, but I want to see... I don't know what the hell the Penguins... You know what? I don't know what the Islanders are going to do, because...
They're old.
They're old and they can't score. Let's keep going. They lost to Toronto 5-2, where Anders Lee had both goals. They lost to Ottawa 2-1. Where Varlamov tried his best, 36 of 38, getting no support. But then Sorokin had a shutout against Detroit, only 2-0 that game. Palmieri had 2 assists, while Nelson had a goal and an assist, and then they lost. They beat Vegas in overtime 2-1. 2-1.
Yeah.
Where Varlamov was 45 of 46.
And he pulled a Save of the Year candidate.
And Barzal had the overtime game winner. Here's the thing. Varlamov and Sorokin are their top players, but their numbers aren't super good.
No, but they're the only thing keeping them in this game.
Those 2 goalies are trying their damnedest. while they are just not getting any goal support in front of them.
None.
I mean, look
whatsoever.
at these numbers. They scored 2 goals against Toronto, 1 goal against Ottawa, 2 against Detroit, 2 against Vegas.
Yeah.
That's an average of about 2 goals
Which
a game.
is what they're doing for the season.
That was the big problem. Everybody was specifically were worried about was like
Defensively, you're sound.
defensively they're great. Their goalies great.
Excellent.
Scoring not so much. And that's like really gonna hurt you because your goalies can stand on their heads, but like if you can't score more than 2 goals,
You're going to run into a problem.
You're gonna lose. You're just not gonna make the playoffs if you're averaging 2 goals. Even if your goalies are like playing world star levels, like it's just not gonna work, because you have games like you had against Toronto where you give up 5 and there's no way that you score
no run
anywhere
support.
close to that. I don't know. It's been particularly evident the last few weeks that
Right, and
the Islanders just like
they're
don't have a scorer. Like
And-
I think they might do well. I don't know that they need to completely blow it up. Like obviously they just signed Barzell in the offseason. He's not going anywhere. I don't think they need to get rid of guys like Lee or Nelson or stuff like that. But like
offensively, you got to do something else.
guys like Cal Clutterbuck and Matt Martin
Didn't they just
and
get
Casey
signed to
Cizikas,
2 years?
they might be up at the end of the year. I don't remember.
I
but
think
like
they got re-upped.
those guys, I understand that they play fairly well defensively. They're a liability to score.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I don't know. They need to rethink their forwards, certainly.
Yeah.
Or their offensive attack and how it's
Yep.
coached. I just don't know. The Rangers, moving on, went 2-0-1 this week.
Yep.
Beating Florida 6-2, as Clay already mentioned. Panarin, 3 assists. Zibanejad, 2 goals and an assist. Lafreniere, Kakko, and Hedl all had 2 points, while Adam Fox also had a goal and 2 assists. It's a lot of scoring.
That's a lot of scoring.
Yeah. They lost to Toronto in overtime,
Yep.
3-2, where Hedl had both goals in
Yes,
that
he
game
did.
against Toronto. And then they beat Vegas 4-1 to finish off their week.
You're figuring out. You might be figuring out a trend.
Interesting. They Vincent Trocheck had a goal and an assist. I think it's Matthew Schneider had 2 assists in that game. He's a defenseman.
Okay.
Schneider, defenseman. I think his first name is Matthew. And Halak was 33 of 34 in that game. Their top player is Philip Hedl, who had 4 goals and an assist in this week.
Good for him.
Philadelphia had an interesting week. They went 1-0-2.
That's not bad for Philadelphia on paper.
No, it's okay, Flyers. Everyone's paying attention to the Eagles right now.
Yep.
They lost to LA.
Philadelphia could be the first team to lose 3 championships in the same year or season.
Yeah, 3 major championships. Yeah, that would be the Phillies losing in the World Series,
The Union.
the Union losing in the MLS championship, and the Eagles are playing in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs.
And that could go either way.
That I feel like the Eagles are going to win, but this is not a football podcast. I just think they're on fire right
I think
now.
they're a better team.
I just like I don't know. I just feel the Eagles are going to win, and I almost want to say, and
I'm
honestly,
okay with it.
I want to say, and I don't actually care if I hex them. I feel like they might win like easily against the Chiefs.
Ooh.
Because the Chiefs, I think they're a glass cannon almost. But this is not a football podcast. But now you guys know my pick for the Super Bowl. They lost to LA the Flyers lost to LA 4-3 in overtime, where JVR had a goal and an assist, and Provorov had 2 assists. They lost to Minnesota 3-2 in overtime. Nothing really much to say about that game.
Here's the thing: you're taking both of those teams to overtime.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Two like fairly good teams. And then, hey, they beat another very good team in Winnipeg 4-0.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Cates and Tippett each had a goal and an assist. Ristolainen, of all people, had 2 assists, and I did not write down which goalie it was. I'm going to guess it was Carter Hart who got the shutout.
Here's the thing: Ristolainen might be on pace for 8 points now.
You know who their top player this week is?
What?
Rasmus Ristolainen.
Oh my goodness!
He had a goal and 3 assists this week.
He's on pace for like 10 points now.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Well worth that first round draft pick and the
5
years, $5 million contract that they gave him. Well worth it for 4 points this week. Pittsburgh is up next, having an okay week. I'm sorry.
I do kind of feel bad, specifically ragging on this dude, but at the same time, he's making $5 million for 5 years.
I'm less ragging on him. I mean, he's not playing well. He hasn't been playing well for years. And look, there could be a myriad of reasons why that is happening. I'm more ragging on the Flyers.
Yeah, it's fair.
They gave up a first-round pick for him when everybody was like, that's crazy. And then they gave him a 5x5 contract extension, and everybody was like, that's extra crazy. Anyway, let's talk about Pittsburgh, who went 1-1 this week. They did not want to play defense this week.
No, they did not
at all.
I thought Letang was back.
He is back.
But what's Petrie doing?
Petrie stuff.
Is he back?
Yeah.
Is he playing?
Yeah.
Then what's going on?
The other side of the defense is bad.
Yeah.
And just kind of in general. And those two guys they only kind of play defense. Specifically, Letang only kind of plays defense. They beat Florida 7-6 in overtime in an insane game. That was like, if I remember correctly,
wasn't Florida like 3-0
It was 2-0 in the first 5 minutes. Pittsburgh quickly tied the game, and then I believe I can't remember who took the lead. But
I was getting confused with the Vancouver Pittsburgh game.
That was last week. Yeah. The Panthers went up 2-0 fairly quickly, and I was like, oh fuck this. But then Pittsburgh tied the game fairly quickly, and then it was, I don't remember who took the lead after that, but it was 3-3 after the first period. Then it was 4-4 after the second period, and then it was 6-6 after the third, and then Pittsburgh ended up winning in overtime. Chris Letang, this is his first game back from being injured, and also, unfortunately, his father passing away. He had 2 goals and 2 assists, including the overtime game winner in this game. Crosby, Malkin, and Danton Heinen, of all people, had a goal and 2 assists. Heinen not having a super good year for Pittsburgh, been healthy scratched a bunch. But he actually had a pretty good week.
Good.
He's not going to be their top player, but Heinen had a pretty good week for them. And then Drew O'Connor had a goal and an assist in that game, too.
I don't know who that is.
He's a young player on the Penguins.
Cool.
His brother Logan plays for the Avalanche.
Huh.
Yeah. That's it for that game. No defense or goaltending was being played in that game by either team. And then a close game against Washington, where Pittsburgh dropped it 3-2 in a shootout. Casey DeSmith tried his best, was 43 of 45 in that game, but ended up losing in a shootout. And then Pittsburgh had, in my opinion, a very embarrassing game against the San Jose Sharks, where they lost 6-4. They were 2 for 4 in the power play in that game. Malkin had 2 goals and an assist, and Crosby had a goal and an assist. But every time they would score, Pittsburgh that is, San Jose seemingly almost immediately scored afterwards. And it was just a really bad defensive and goaltending effort by the Penguins.
Well, I have no idea how San Jose won this game because, like you mentioned, they were San Jose was 2 for 4 on the penalty kill.
Yep.
And they also gave up a shorthanded goal.
Yes, they did. Yep.
How do you lose?
I believe in this game as well, San Jose went up, I think 2-0, or no, maybe they went up 1-0, and then Pittsburgh went up 2-1. I can't remember, but they kept trading the lead back and forth, and like I just said, Pittsburgh would take the lead, and then within 5 minutes of gameplay, San Jose would tie the game, and then in the third period, San Jose was just like, we're going to just take the lead and then win.
It's mainly Logan Couture. Yeah. He had a 5-point game that night, but
and I think Carlson played pretty well too.
Right.
Logan Couture is still mad that the Penguins beat the Sharks in the Stanley Cup final in 2016.
He's still mad about it.
He's still mad about it. He's still talking about how Crosby cheats on faceoff. Was that him? I can't remember if that was him or not, actually, no. But I know it was, because the other one of their top centers was Pavelski at the time, and he's in Dallas. So, no, I remember Logan Couture was like, he cheats on faceoffs. And everybody was like, what? So? Cheat. You're supposed to. You just don't get caught.
Cheat better, yeah.
Cheat better, Couture. And I do remember somebody asked Crosby about it. He was like, I don't know what he's talking about. Malkin and Crosby are their top players of the week, each having 6 points. Malkin, 3 goals, 3 assists, and Crosby, 2 goals and 4 assists.
Defense optional.
Washington went 1-2 this week.
Yep.
They lost to Colorado 3-2, where they outshot Colorado 39-26.
Georgiev played well. That was a good scream.
That kid must be right next to the door downstairs.
That was a good scream right there.
Boo.
It's echoing in the hallway.
He is upset about the Penguins' lack of defense this week,
and
much like I am.
And also upset with the Capitals' lack of offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
I
am.
Hey, they did beat Pittsburgh, as I just mentioned, 3-2 in a shootout. Darcy Kemper, 35 of 37.
Mm-hmm.
Kuznetsov and Backstrom were the 2 that scored in the shootout. Pretty good. And then they lost to Toronto 5-1. They don't have a top player.
No.
Yeah, they didn't have a great week.
They had a bad second period against Toronto. They let 4 goals.
Yeah. That was a pretty fun game against the Penguins. Back and forth.
Yep.
Looked like old playoff battles between these two teams. And in a shootout. I hate shootouts. It is what it is.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a good game for both of those teams. The rest of both of those teams' weeks were not great. All right. As for the news for the Metropolitan Division, Tristan Jarry, as we mentioned previously, is out until after the All-Star game. Not that I don't know that he was going to. I don't think he was going to the All-Star game, but
a lot of those injuries that I said out till the All-Star break.
Yeah, weird. I think the Penguins just said that. Not that Jarry was going to the All-Star game, but they were just like, this is the time frame.
Yeah.
He will hopefully be back after the All-Star game. He had some weird mystery upper body injury right before the Florida game. So
yeah.
And then the New York Rangers signed Ben Harper to a 2-year, $787,000 per year contract.
Woo.
So, depth defenseman.
Yeah.
I think he's a defenseman. That's it for the Metro. Clay, what's going on in the Pacific?
What is going on in the Pacific? Anaheim's going on in the Pacific.
Wait 1 sec.
Oh, that's a good sound. That's a good sound. Anaheim's going on in the Pacific, and they went 3-0.
Hell yeah.
And they didn't take himself out of Bedard watch.
And Trevor Zegras got in a fight or something.
Yeah, Trevor Zegras got in a fight against Arizona. Arizona versus the Ducks is actually becoming a rivalry, which is fun because they're both bad teams and they both just absolutely hate each other.
Maybe they'll be good at the same time, too.
Oh, man, that'd be amazing.
I don't know about Arizona, but maybe Anaheim will be good.
I mean, Arizona's putting the pieces in.
It's just they're such a weirdly managed team.
Agreed. But
the baby also agrees.
Yes. But remember, they had a...
He's like, I don't even have an owner yet.
But remember, they had a grifter as a GM.
That's true. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's
so,
true.
You have to clean up a lot from that.
I feel like I should just write a resume to be like an NHL GM.
You might get picked by Arizona.
I might. I might also do a good job. And they'll be like, where did this guy come from? He has a marine biology degree.
Those liberal arts majors. All right, so 3-0. They're
3-0.
They're
Anaheim.
still 16-29-5. So
Hell
again,
yeah.
not out of Bedard watch.
God, they're bad. Otherwise,
they beat Arizona 5-2. Where
there was maybe
Zegras got in a fight with Stetcher.
Yeah.
And the geniuses in both Reddit and Twitter, the excellent lip readers, said that Zegras said something about Stetcher's dad, who had passed away a couple years ago.
There's no fucking way that he...
Which required Arizona to come out and say he didn't say anything about Stetcher's dad.
So ridiculous. If he did, he didn't.
He didn't.
All parties are saying that he did not. But oh man, it's so funny. The internet always just defaults to like that guy did the worst thing possible.
He got a game misconduct for a cross check as well.
He clearly said something that crossed the line, but it was not that.
Right. Because during that scrum, he got the a game misconduct on top of it.
What if he said something like, "Your face looks fat tonight," to Troy Stetcher, and the ref?
That was
like, That's too far.
He got the. It wasn't for anything he said. It was a cross check in that scrum.
Okay.
Like that's what you get.
Gotcha.
And then he scored the...
he called him fat.
Oh, that was... Sorry, they played 2 Arizona games. This was in the second...
Oh, that was the second one.
This was in the second Arizona game. That is my fault. They beat them handily.
I didn't realize that either.
In Arizona, 5-2. Cam Fowler had 2 goals and assists in that game. Then they beat Colorado at Colorado.
Damn.
5-3. Vetrano had a hat trick.
Frankie Vetrano.
Gibson was 41 for 44. And then they beat Arizona in overtime. Zegers got that game winner. Yeah. Gibson saved the game in overtime as well with one of his outstanding glove saves. Gibson's just funny. Like, he really is one of those guys that, like...
I fully believe he is still a good goalie. He's just playing it behind a very bad defense.
I think he also gets bored.
Could be that too.
I think if it's a close game, if he's engaged in the game, he's excellent. But if it's getting a blowout or he's not getting that much time, he gets bored, and then suddenly he'll try to do a stave where he stacks the pads for no reason, and it's just like, dude, what are you doing?
I mean, I kind of get it. I would love to see John Gibson on, like, a good team.
Right.
You know, behind, like, a good defense. And maybe we will in the coming years in Anaheim, but
I mean,
who knows?
Stolarz is probably
maybe he'll get traded at the trade deadline. I don't know.
Stolarz is one of the guys that looks like he'll probably might get traded at the deadline because he's coming up on the end of his contract. It's unrestricted. Yeah. So I think they have a guy in the pipe.
If I remember correctly, Gibson's contract is actually not that bad. It's like 6 or something.
It's like 5.5.
I think it's 5/6, but I could be wrong. But it's not that bad for like a pretty good starting goalie,
right?
You know, so maybe he gets traded in the offseason. We'll see, or maybe not.
Klingberg might not get the turn that he wanted.
He's gonna get 1 year, $1 million.
Oh no, he'll still get.
He's gonna get that Shattenkirk special.
He did have an excellent assist in the overtime.
I'm sure he'll get traded somewhere, and I'm sure somebody will give him a decent amount of money in the offseason. So
him and Shattenkirk are on the same team. That's hilarious.
I know. But I'm just thinking Klingberg's trajectory is going more Shattenkirk right now.
Yeah.
than it is like Erik Karlsson, you know.
All right. For their top players, they have Frank Vatrano and Cam Fowler.
I'm so happy Frank Vatrano's not on the Rangers anymore.
4 goals, 1 assist for Vatrano, and then 2 goals, 3 assists for Cam Fowler. All right. Moving on to Calgary. 2 goals and 1 assist. What did I just say?
2 goals and 1 assist.
I know, but the 2 and 1 this week because it's Calgary, not a specific player.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. 2 wins and 2 losses.
Yep. No, 2 and 1. 2 goals, 1 assist.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was silencing an alarm on my phone, and I knew it was coming.
Sure.
I was. My dog's medicine alarm was coming up.
Yeah, and you already gave it to her.
Yeah, that's why I was silencing it, Clay. Talk about how Calgary scored 2 goals and an assist this week.
Damn it. 24, 17, and 9 on the season. They beat Columbus in overtime, like Bert said. Mm-hmm. It was Johnny Gaudreau's first time back in Calgary.
I didn't watch any of that game. I wonder how much did he get booed? Did you see anything?
Almost constantly, except for when they put the tribute video on where they booed at the start, gave him a standing ovation, and then went right back to booing.
I love it.
Like a true sports fan.
All right,
He spent, what, 11 years?
A long time there.
He spent 11 years there. Yeah. So, yeah.
That baby is upset, too.
They
like, fuck you, Johnny Gaudreau.
Booed at the start.
Boo.
Standing ovation. Went back to booing.
Words.
2 for 4 on the penalty kill in that game.
Loud. Yeah.
Dylan Dubé scored the game-winning goal, but Mangiapane had a goal and 2 assists.
Bread eater.
Then they got stomped by Chicago. Markstrom was in net. I got nothing much to say about that.
They got stomped by Chicago of all teams.
Yeah. 1-5.
That's a Penguin loss against San Jose kind of quality.
Markstrom let in 4 goals. Then they finished the week by beating Seattle 5-2. Vladar in net. Lindholm had a goal and 2 assists.
Nice.
Penalty kill and power play, nothing special. Actually, power play was bad. It was 0 for 7. But Coleman and Mangiapane both had 1 goal and 3 assists for their top players. Also, yes, Markstrom is not having a good season, but Vladar has taken the number 1 spot from him. He's taken the number 1 spot.
Vladar's been playing well for them.
Also, the team is playing differently in front of Vladar than they're playing Markstrom.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Doesn't it make you think?
It might be one of those things where they're expecting Markstrom to be better, so they're like being less defensively sound, and then he's not playing like he used to. And
I hate to constantly bring things back to the Penguins, but it's very similar to how the Penguins play in front of Casey DeSmith when they play in front of Tristan Jarry.
Right.
Because it makes me think that maybe they like one goalie more than the other.
It seems like it. Like, it's one of those
maybe
things.
one of them is an asshole, you know?
Like, I don't know. It was also the same where...
I have nothing to base that off of. It's just based on how they play. It's interesting, you know?
It happens a lot with backups, too. Like, they'll play better in front of a backup because they're just like, but you're not as good as the starter, so let's be better.
With the Penguins, it's the reverse.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to me.
But right now, they are just playing differently in front of Vladar than they are Markstrom.
Interesting.
It's
interesting.
not good for Markstrom's contract.
Nope.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make management look good either for giving Markstrom that contract.
Because remember earlier in the season, the Pacific has like 7 goalies with contracts over $5 million, and none of them have a save percentage over 9.
All of them are bad.
Yeah. Again, one of them's Gibson, who is both bored and in front and behind their defense.
I don't even know if I would call that a defense at this point.
And at times
behind John Klingberg and Kevin Shattenkirk.
And at times Los Angeles' defense, I don't know what they're doing, because that's like Quick is another one. Pettersson's different because he's in the AHL.
He's in the AHL now. Still getting $5 million a year though.
But there's times in like.
That's the dream right there.
That is the dream.
Trick them into giving you that much money and then just being bad at your job.
Remember David Carr? Again, not a football podcast, but David Carr was the first overall pick.
So bad for him. Of the Houston Texans.
He was the inaugural quarterback for the Houston Texans.
Oh, he just got destroyed.
And yeah, that playbook was basically run for your life.
Yeah. They were like, we don't have an offensive line.
That offensive line was literally the turnstiles before going on the subway.
He got sacked so much.
And after his contract was up with Houston, he had actually a lot of offers for other starting positions, other places. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, I'm going to be the backup to Eli Manning, who has never missed a game.
Oh, yeah.
So he sat behind.
That's the easiest job.
He sat behind Eli Manning for the rest of his career, making $3 million.
Sick.
Yep.
I would take that too. I'm like,
Yep.
Yeah, I don't gotta get hit anymore.
Good for him.
Yeah. That's like, that's people are like, what's the easiest job in the world? Being like Tom Brady's backup.
Yep.
You know.
Except that one time.
Except that 1 year where he got injured. Yeah.
But.
Shout out to Matt Castle.
You end up being Matt Castle and playing well that 1 year
and earning a contract,
massive contract,
and then playing bad the rest of the time.
Yep. All right. Again, not a football podcast.
What are we talking about?
Edmonton now.
Oh, okay.
They only had 2 games this week.
Oh, I have a team like that too.
They were 1-0-1.
All right.
That overtime loss against Columbus, like you mentioned
shameful.
Just now.
That's shameful.
Derek Ryan had one of their goals.
He's on Edmonton?
Yes, he is. I think he's been on there for a couple of years now.
He's one of those players that is like, he's on that team, you know, because like, maybe I'm thinking of Derek Grant. Derek Ryan is a player like that too,
Yeah.
where he just like bounces around every couple of years to like a different team, and you're like, he's on that team.
Derek Grant's on the Anaheim.
Yeah, Derek Grant was who I was thinking of because Derek Grant, for most of the time, was on Anaheim, but there was a couple of years where he was on the Penguins a little bit, and then he was on the Flyers a little bit,
And he went back. To
and then he
Anaheim.
went back to Anaheim. Oh, he's like Josh
He
Johnson.
is.
Yeah.
They are 28, 18, and 4.
They're doing good.
Then they beat Chicago.
McDavid already has like 90 points, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got 40 goals.
Yeah, he's having
41
an
goals.
insane statistical year, which means Edmonton is going to lose in the first round.
Nah, they'll make it to the divisionals.
Nah, no way. No way. This is the year the Kings beat them.
It's not, well, the Kings are in first, so they're not going to blame.
They're in first?
Kings are in first with a negative goal differential.
What is happening in the Pacific Division? Oh my god. What happened to Vegas? Their lead in that division seemed totally insurmountable.
Well, because after the 13-2 start, they started treading 500, and now they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Those injuries and just players underperforming.
Is Jack Eichel the
It
problem?
might be,
Maybe.
honestly.
Maybe. Hey, he's still getting $10 million a
He
year.
is. This is the game that Bert was talking about because Skinner could not go for an illness right before the game.
Yeah.
So they had to sign Matt
Oh, they signed that guy.
Berlin to an ATO.
Oh, gotcha.
It was an ATO.
And he had to play the last like 2.5 minutes of that
He didn't
game.
have to play. They put him in.
Well, they were up by 4 goals, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, they just pulled Jack Campbell, and they were like,
Pulled Jack
"Get
Campbell.
in there."
It was actually McDavid's idea. He went up
Okay.
to Woodcroft and was just like him, Woodcroft, and Drysdale had a discussion.
Oh, holy Saint McDavid!
Yep.
Giving the poor little Berlin 2.5 minutes of gameplay.
He went 1 for 1.
I know. Yeah, he did.
You
yeah,
gotta say
that's
it.
true, yeah.
So he's what, like, also
Go back to your day job now.
basically he's also from Alberta, went to the University
Oh,
of
that's
Alberta.
right. That's why I thought he would. That's why I thought he was a
EBG.
an e-bug.
E-bug.
Because he's like from Edmonton.
He's from Edmonton.
It's always funny when they're like just some random guy.
I think
And it's happened a couple of times where they were like, "Can anybody play goalie?" That's in the stands, and one guy's like, "I can."
I'm an accountant for Chicago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he goes in and he is like, "Okay."
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, that's
Or he's the Zamboni driver, and then he beats Toronto.
yes.
And he's the Zamboni driver for Toronto.
For Toronto.
And he beat Toronto.
Yeah, the reason it wasn't an e-bug situation is because
Gotcha.
the e-bug actually, even if he's on the bench, he actually can't go in unless there's an injury.
Got ya.
So by-
okay.
so
So
by-
they signed him to a PTO or
Yeah.
ATO, whatever
So
it is.
because he was signed, they were able to make a goalie swap.
Gotcha.
just 'cause.
Okay, that's interesting. Just because they felt like it.
Well, it's just like we're up 7-3.
Yeah, they were, and there's 2 minutes left in the game.
7
Put him in.
Like let's have him play in the NHL.
Put in the Berlin Wall.
Oh my goodness.
That's,
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall.
oh, if only there was a player on Chicago named
Oh.
Gorbachev, and then he scored.
Oh my goodness. All right, McDavid had 2 goals and 2 assists in that game.
It's like that happened before we were even born.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out to my mom; she'll know that.
Yeah. I mean, his brains were already jelly beans at that time.
Oh, and maybe the one person that listens to us in Germany. Shout out again.
Shout out. Zach Hyman had 2 goals and 2 assists in those.
Right on.
Because he's having a career year as well.
Yeah, he's having a good year. Well, he is playing with either McDavid or Draisaitl.
It's not just McDavid and Draisaitl are going supernova.
They definitely are this
They-
year.
they are.
Well, McDavid specifically is.
They are, but also Hyman stepped up. Nugent Hopkins is having a career year. So,
I can't wait for Draisaitl and McDavid to do the fusion dance
oh my goodness.
and then become McSeitel.
I like mixed idol.
And then they score 400 points. Just like Goku and Vegeta.
Or Drive It.
Or Drive It. That's pretty cool.
He drives to the paint.
Yeah. Just like Goku and Vegeta when they made Gogeta. Shout out to all my nerds out there.
All right. We're going to talk about LA next. They played on the road all 3 games.
First place, LA.
They started in Philadelphia, winning in overtime, like you said. I actually watched this game.
Just like Will Smith.
Just like Will Smith. No, he went from Philadelphia to LA.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
This was LA to Philadelphia. It is in West Philadelphia.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, baby. And then he came out on the ice and slapped a man right in the face. West Philadelphia, born and raised.
I watched this game, and basically Philadelphia almost always scored first, and LA just responded. And that first goal, to start it, was against the run of play. So Philadelphia completely scored against the run of play, and then LA had to keep battling back.
What a turn of phrase you just used. The run of play.
Yeah, what?
No, you just sounded smart.
It'll happen every once in a while.
Every once in a while, you sound smart.
Phoenix Copley was in net there. Kopitar had 2 goals in that game.
Nice.
Then they beat Florida 4-3. Copley's in net as well. They had not one. Sorry, let me switch this. They were 7 for 5 on the penalty kill.
Ah,
yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Well,
Florida, not good on the power play.
No. It's 2 shorthanded goals.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Kempe had one of those goals. He also had another assist. And then against Tampa Bay, Jonathan Quick had to be in net.
It's unfortunate.
They lost 2-5.
So lost that game.
It's, again, one of those things just
Old man Johnny.
How they play in front of a starter/backup.
Well, Jonathan Quick is also...
He's old.
Like 38 or something at this point.
Yes, he's older, but he's...
I can still play.
Yeah.
Hello, fellow kids.
Look at Anderson on Buffalo.
Yeah, that man is 62. It's insane.
41 minimally. He might be 42, but...
He's 41, yeah. Same as his number.
All right, moving on.
We're so stupid. Thank you guys for listening to us be stupid with each other.
That's what we're here for. To be stupid with each other.
We love each and every one of you.
Yes, we do. All right, San Jose.
Except you, Marissa. No, I take that back. She'll get mad at me.
You already said it. It's out there for the world.
Whatever. She'll barely see me at work tomorrow.
1-0-2 for San Jose. 15. Is that 25?
I don't know.
That's 26.
Sure.
And 4. And that's an 11.
That's bad. This is San Jose, you said?
Yeah, 15, 26, and 11.
Yeah, that sounds about right. 11?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Man.
Because 2 of those came this week.
It's crazy that they only played 2 games this week.
3 games.
They only played 2.
Oh, yeah. That's correct. All right. They lost to Detroit in overtime. Talked about this game. Carlson had 2 assists. They lost in overtime to Carolina in a shameful fashion. All right. I saw this guy the past couple weeks. I didn't want to shout him out just because I don't know how to pronounce his name.
What is it? Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to guess it's French. But
probably. Those are the names you always have trouble with.
This dude's from Colorado. It doesn't help me.
Oh.
Eyssimont.
Okay.
It's Eyssimont. So I'm guessing it's French. Eyssimont.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to say his name.
From Colorado.
Maybe his family is of French descent.
That's fair. I get it.
Maybe they're Creole. You don't know. Eyssimont. That could be.
That'd be cool.
That could be. He makes a good gumbo.
1 goal, 2 assists.
Good for him. I have no idea who that is.
He's had a couple of good games this past 2 weeks, and it's just like, I don't know how to say your name. I'm going to skip it.
Esemo.
And then...
Call our French friend. Hey.
We don't actually know if he's
French. Is this French? She'll be like, no.
Or it's Essemont.
I like the first way better.
I like the French way.
And you know what? If you're listening to this, I know you are, because we're the biggest hockey podcast in the world.
We're the only hockey podcast.
That's how you say your name now. We're the only hockey podcast in the entire world.
All right. And then they beat Pittsburgh in a game that they should not have.
Stupid.
6-4.
Dumb game. It's like bad defense by the Penguins.
I said this already, but Logan Couture had 2 goals and 3 assists.
Yes, he did.
And the reason I'm talking about
You should say it into your mic, though.
2 goals and 3 assists. The reason I'm talking about shameful against Carolina is because they were up 3-2, scored an empty net goal.
Oh,
and then lost the game.
Right, I forgot about that.
They became the 3rd team to ever
lose after they scored an empty net goal.
It was Detroit in the 70s, I believe. It was the first team, and the other team was the San Jose Sharks back in 1819.
Keeping up traditions, baby. Keeping up those traditions. In what year?
1819 season.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was that recently.
Yes.
I didn't realize that. I thought you said 1918, and I was like, they did not exist at that time.
The 1819 season. I believe it was the 1819 season, or if it
200 years ago,
or it was the 1920 season. Either way, it was recent.
That's so funny that it was that recently.
Well, I saw
What are you doing?
I saw a lot of
Sorry, my dog just stood up.
A lot of comments on this game being.
That's really, really funny.
San Jose fans going, it's like, the Caps already did this, losers.
Losers?
Yeah, the Capitals did it first. You're not even special. And those are my favorite chirps. Just like, we suck.
Simpsons did it.
Basically. And then Logan Couture is their top player with 3 goals and 3 assists.
5 of those points were against the Penguins.
5 of them against the Penguins, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, Seattle's up next. They are 2-1, 29-15-5.
I'm so happy they're doing good.
Yeah, they're second in the division, I believe. They're right there.
You know what I would do if I'd be so happy if Seattle somehow won the Stanley Cup this year. Just to rub it in Vegas' face.
Oh my god, that would be beautiful.
How amazing would that be?
But at the same time, they rub it in Vancouver's face too.
They could rub it in Vancouver,
Buffalo,
Toronto, Nashville,
San Jose.
So many teams' faces to just be like, look what we got.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is our second year. This is easy.
Yeah, this is easy.
What are you guys doing?
That's why they shouldn't be allowed to win, but
it would be so delicious to see happen though.
That's why I was like, I would have, when the Caps beat Vegas for the Stanley Cup, I would have been furious.
If they had lost.
Yeah.
If they had lost.
Because it's just like, there's 40 years of pain.
But if they win, and just be like, hey, Vancouver, what are you guys doing?
Yeah,
what's up with you guys? Yeah. You guys have existed for like so much longer than us.
Right.
This at least the 70s. Why don't you have one of these? Yeah, we have one. This is our second year.
It's easy.
It'd be so funny. This shit was easy. What are you guys doing over there?
Speaking of Vancouver, they stomped them 6-1.
Yeah.
To start their week.
Take that, Tocchet.
Martin Jones in net there.
Fire Tocchet.
Bjorkstrand had 2 goals in that game.
Nice. Just kidding. I don't.
Then they
none of this is Tocchet's fault.
Then they lost to Calgary for game 2. Tolvainen has been
it's
on fire.
Has he for Seattle?
Seattle.
I think
he scored.
They picked him up off of waivers from Nashville, I believe.
Yes, they did, and he scored like 9 goals in 12 games.
Oh man, that's really gotta suck for Nashville.
Killing it. I believe he has a goal in every game this week.
That's so funny.
And then they beat Columbus to finish their week with Grubauer in net. Perfect on the penalty kill, I have to say, because their penalty kill sucks. Normally. So they did good there. Bjorkstrand is their top player with 2 goals and 2 assists this week.
Just really quick before you move on, just rewind to Tolvanen, however you say his name.
It's Tolvanen. I messed that up. It's like EU.
From what?
EU.
He's from Europe. Is that what you mean?
I think his first name is spelled like EEIU.
Yeah, he has an odd first name. Anyway, just rewind to him just really quick. I love that he's killing it for Seattle, but he's one of those players that a few years ago he came over from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's from Sweden or Finland, I believe. But he was one of those players that I saw so many people on Reddit be like, oh, he's going to come over and tear up the NHL.
Right.
He's going to kill it for Nashville. He's going to be so good. And then he came over for Nashville, and he scored like 10 goals over an entire season with them and was like up and down in the minors. And I was like, yeah, he's really killing it, guys?
It is Eli.
Is
but
it?
It's E-E-L-I.
Yeah,
Eli.
Eli. Or Ely, or maybe. Anyway, and then everybody shut up about him.
Yep.
And then he got put on waivers, and Seattle took him, and hey, maybe Seattle knows how to use him better than Nashville did.
He's from Finland.
Finland, okay, there you go. Yeah, it's just like he's one of it happens all the time with fan bases and their younger players that like this guy's going to come up and he's going to be amazing. This guy's going to come up and he's going to score 40 goals immediately. And then they never do that.
Nope. He's got 8 goals, 2 assists in 15 games for Seattle.
Good for him.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just always funny. There's always guys like that on every team where the fan base is like way overestimate how good they're going to be.
Right.
And I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody on Chicago. Schmaltz, maybe? And it doesn't matter. But like it was some younger player who's having a fine career.
Yeah.
Now, not for Chicago, but for somebody else. But
not Florida, Arizona, I think so.
Yeah. He's on Arizona. And he's playing fine for Arizona.
Yeah.
And but I remember I saw some fan of Chicago be like, he's like Crosby light.
Ugh.
He's like really good.
Really gotta
He's
stop.
not as good as Crosby, but like he's like Crosby light. And I was like, what are you talking about?
It's like
I was like, this guy has not even played in the NHL yet.
It's like Besser or Laine with Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Stamkos could have been close with Ovechkin, but those injuries.
The injuries really derailed his career.
But he's still having a great
there was
career.
Somebody with Philly. Now I believe he's on San Jose. It was the kid who beat cancer.
Sudquist?
No, but it's a name similar to that. Lindbaum, maybe? Oscar Lindbaum?
I think it was Oscar Sundquist.
No. He didn't. No. He played for the Penguins and then the Blues.
Then Lindholm.
No,
it was
Lindholm.
No, it was
Oscar Lindholm, I think. But I remember I saw some fan for Philly when he was with Philly.
Yeah.
And be like, he's gonna be a perennial 90-point player. Like I could just tell.
Right.
I'm scout level, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, okay. I mean, I hope so, I guess. But like,
I'm just happy when it works out for guys, man.
I'm happy when a young guy on my team scores 15 goals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that guy's playing great.
Awesome.
You know, it's just so funny. I'm sorry to derail.
It's just.
We brought up Eli Tolvanen, and
Yeah.
it just made me think of it.
All right, we're going to Vancouver now.
Vancouver.
2-1 this week.
The resurgence.
I mean, like we predicted, you fire Boudreau after the hard part of the season, and they only had to play Chicago and Columbus.
That's true.
Seattle, which they won, and they lost to Seattle 1-6.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And
Rick Tockett's the answer.
Tocchet
they could do this every
called
year
them
now.
soft.
That's true, he did.
Tocchet called the entire team soft after the Seattle loss. They scored 2 shorthanded goals. So while their penalty kill was 6 for 10, adjusted it was 8 for 10.
Yeah, hey, that's respectable.
That's pretty good.
That's respectable.
Good job. Kuzmenko had 2 goals in the Chicago game, and then Horvat had 4 assists in the Columbus win. 4.8 for Horvat.
I will be very interested to see where he gets traded.
Horvat is their top player.
Yeah.
1 goal, 4 assists.
Because he's definitely going to get traded.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
There's a lot of speculation about him going to Boston.
I've seen Boston or Carolina. I don't think Boston really needs him, though.
So, if he goes to Boston, it's purely a rental.
Yeah. Oh,
Because if he goes to Boston and is expected to get market price, then they can't sign Pasternak.
Oh, true.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people speculating he's going to eventually get traded to Carolina.
I saw,
which is I hate because they're in our division. But
well, I hate too because also Carolina knows how to freaking fleece a team.
That is also true.
Do it.
Yeah, that is also true. They'll get him for like a second round pick somehow.
Yeah,
and Vancouver will retain 50% of his salary or something.
Like something stupid.
Yeah.
They just know how to fleece a team. But the
and
what
then
I saw
how to convince guys to take like way cheaper contracts than they should be.
I saw Horvat to Boston for Carlo and maybe something else. But
I think they would have to add to get him, but that might work money wise.
Yeah. Also they need defense.
Vancouver
needs
Vancouver
defense.
Absolutely needs defense.
So
it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for Horvat. It'll be interesting for Schenn.
Him and Schenn, I think, are of all the entire league. I think are the only 2 players that are almost guaranteed to get traded.
I've seen a lot of O'Reilly talk for St. Louis.
I've seen a lot of I have seen other talking heads say they definitely think Tarasenko is going to get traded.
It might be both,
and not O'Reilly.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I've seen O'Reilly to the Capitals. I've seen O'Reilly to Boston. I've seen
yeah.
Which
I don't know. I mean, any team that gets O'Reilly's a great player.
The Cavs fan to me is just like,
come on, Penguins.
The Cavs fan is like, I don't really want O'Reilly.
Come on, Penguins. We need you. Defense. We need defense.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like, age. For
the Penguins? You think they give a shit about age? You see what they did last offseason?
Both. I mean, for both the Caps and the Penguins.
I guess that's fair.
The Caps are older than the Penguins. Not by much, but they are.
By like a .01 or something.
But they're still older. So
that's because Backstrom came back off injury.
It was before Backstrom came back.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the Penguins were the oldest team.
No, it was Capitals.
Trade Jeff Carter for Ryan O'Reilly. Perfect trade.
So yeah.
You know what? I'll throw in a Brian Dumoulin.
Oh.
You're welcome.
You're so generous.
You're welcome, St. Louis.
Anyway,
what the hell are we talking about?
Who's that kid? Who with the Devils from you guys?
John Marino.
Yeah, Marino. Dumoulin might pull a Marino.
That was a cap dump. I think they traded Marino because they couldn't trade Brian Dumoulin.
I mean, Siegenthaler was a cap dump too for the.
Yep. Doesn't it feel good?
Well, it was also Laviolette not playing younger guys. It's just like, but no, play him. Ugh.
Nah, now he's on the Devils.
I knew Siegenthaler was good.
Tell me more, but don't finish up the Pacific.
All right, last one is...
We got to stop going on tangents.
We got to, but
we're still on the Pacific. We have a whole nother division to go through.
Yeah, but then you'll be talking and I won't be interrupting as much.
That's true. I interrupt you a lot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Vegas 0-1-2.
No, that's okay, Bert.
Yeah. You're fine. 29,
It's so easy to interrupt you.
This is why I didn't say...
Go ahead.
They suck. They went on an East Coast road trip to the New York area. They lost in overtime to the Devils. Then they lost outright to the Rangers. And then lost in overtime to the Islanders. You know all about these games. Mm-hmm. You've talked all about these games.
Mm-hmm.
Over 7 on the power play, 3-4 on the penalty kill. They didn't get a lot of penalties.
Huh. Yeah, not a lot of special team stuff.
Yeah, they're 29, 18-4. They've really dropped down. So I don't have.
Are they in third now?
So Yes.
Wow.
They are in third.
Man, fall from grace.
They are in third with 2 points above Edmonton.
Coming up for Boston, fall from grace.
But Edmonton is a game in hand.
Yeah. Boston's going to lose 10 games in a row.
10 games in a
and
row.
be in the wild card spot. It's crazy.
Only.
Could you imagine if I was correct in that call? And that's how it ended the year.
You'd be a wizard, Harry.
I would be impressed with myself.
You should put money down at that point. All right, I'm done. In general.
Okay. Let's talk about the Central Division.
Talk about the Central Division.
Arizona.
Played the Ducks twice.
Played the Ducks twice. Yes, they did. Are you just going to try to interrupt me whenever you can?
Just for now.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You don't have the wherewithal to wax poetic like I do.
No, I don't.
Anyway, Arizona. 1-1-1 this week. They did play Anaheim twice, as Clay already mentioned, and they were 0-1-1 in those 2 games.
And then they beat St. Louis. Like, what the fuck
And
is
then
going
they
on?
beat the crap out of St. Louis. Anyway, 5-2 against Anaheim to start the week. Brett Hayton had a goal and an assist, and then they shut out St. Louis 5-0. Like, what is happening?
Was this the game that...
Nick Schmaltz had a hat trick and an assist in this game. Well, Brett Ritchie 2 assists. Vejmelka had 33 saves. What were you saying?
Was this the game where Biddington tried to fight somebody, or was that another game?
Probably.
No,
that could be just literally any game.
No, it was Colorado.
Oh.
Because Georgiev went to center ice.
I would love to see Biddington get his ass beat.
He was in the scrum.
It would be so funny.
It
just
was
all the shit talking he does to see Biddington just get like...
he was in the scrum behind...
Did you ever see the fight between Brett Johnson and Rick DiPietro?
Yes, I did, where he breaks his jaw.
Where Brett Johnson punched Rick DiPietro one time, one punch, broke his jaw, and tore his ACL at the same time.
Tore his ACL too?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Because he got knocked out and he fell in such a way that also tore his ACL. And it ended Rick DiPietro's career.
Oh my goodness.
It's not funny because he got severely injured.
But DiPietro was trying to fight people.
Yeah.
He was looking for the fight.
DiPietro was... I got to show you the video of that fight. Because he's
the video.
He's like joking. He's like smiling, coming up, taking his gloves off, and getting ready to fight. And Brent Johnson, who was the backup for the Penguins, was deadly serious about this fight.
Having none of it.
Looked like an angry old man that was about to beat the shit out of some teenager that was mouthing off to him.
Yeah.
And then he did. Oh, man. Anyway, Nick Schmaltz had a hat trick and an assist against St. Louis, while Nick Ritchie... No, I said all of these things already. And then Arizona lost to Anaheim in overtime to finish off the week, where they were outshot 45-34. A lot of shots in that game.
A lot of shots.
Hey, Connor Ingram, 43-45. They've been spelling Vejmelka a bit recently and letting Connor Ingram play. Ingram, actually, I believe, played both games against Anaheim this week.
Ingram might be a guy who gets traded. Because they have another guy.
They should not trade Vejmelka.
No. But they have another guy in the pipeline.
Do they?
The G. I can't think of his name. But,
I don't know off the top of my head. He might have played a couple of games this year. Nick Schmaltz is their top player with 4 goals and an assist this week.
Woo, Nick Schmaltz.
Woo! Also, Karel Vejmelka played 1 game and he got a shutout.
Yeah.
So shout out to him too, but he only played 1 game. So,
right.
Chicago 1-2. Back down to earth from their 6-2 streak that they were on. Losing to Vancouver 5-2, where they were outshot 48-14 in this game, and they still scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
Vancouver, what do you do? How do you let 2 goals up on 14 shots? Oh, Mrazek was the only reason this was even anywhere close to a game. He stopped 43 of 47 shots.
Yep.
Oh, my God. And they somehow beat Calgary.
Yep.
5-1, where Tkachuk had a goal and an assist.
It's Tkachuk.
No, it isn't. This one is not. And Stauber, who is their backup goalie, was 34 of 35.
I don't know who they're, like...
Who knows?
I don't know if they can say they have a backup goalie.
It was Stauber in this game.
Because, like, Mrazek, Stauber, Stalock.
I think Mrazek is technically their starter. Technically. I think he plays most of the games. But, like, they have Stalock, too, who must be injured because Stauber played this week.
I think Stalock is.
Yeah. And then they got stomped by Edmonton 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Taylor Radish had a goal and an assist in that game. Well, Kane had 2 assists, and they were outshot 43-29. Chicago is bad.
They're bad.
Yeah,
they should feel bad.
They did have that streak for the 2 previous weeks where I think they were 6-2 or something like that, where everybody was like, "Whoa, look at them! Oh, they're bad again."
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Patrick Kane had a goal and 3 assists this week as their top player.
As he might not be on their team anymore in the next few weeks.
I don't know, man. Not a lot of teams have salary cap space. I keep seeing people being like, he's going to get traded to the Rangers. I'm like, for what? And like, for what money?
I saw the Capitals too. It's just like, again, for
that's
what?
definitely not happening. Yeah.
For what?
Neither of those
money?
teams have cap space for that. You know, it's just like, I mean, yeah, he would make them better.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Kane for the 8, what is he, like 33, 34, something like that?
Right.
Still a very good player, just on a really bad team. So like,
bad.
I wouldn't be shocked if he got traded, but like, there has to be money going back to Chicago to make that correct for any of those teams. I keep seeing like people are like calling their shot, guaranteeing that he's going to the Rangers, and I'm like, there has to be money going back for that.
I've seen Buffalo.
Oh, I would love if he went to Buffalo,
which would be dirty.
Because he's from Buffalo.
Which would be dirty offensively.
Oh my God. Watch him go to Buffalo, then make the playoffs, and make a huge run in the playoffs. They beat Boston.
But I don't...
They beat Boston.
Who knows, like, what does Buffalo give up?
That I don't know, because clearly they're not giving up, like, Darlene, Power, or Tage Thompson, not Alex Tuck.
Maybe Peyton Krebs?
Maybe.
But,
he's he's just kind of there.
Samuelson.
You know? They could take... I don't know what their salary cap space is. They might be able to take on his entire contract.
It might.
Maybe. Look it up really quick.
Yes.
Well, I keep going. Colorado is up next. They went 2-1 this week, continuing on with their pretty good last few weeks where they're starting to look like the team that won the Stanley Cup last year. They beat Washington 3-2, where they were outshot by Washington 39-26. Yep.
I got a trade to break.
Really?
I got a trade to break.
Right now?
Right now.
Okay, tell me.
Bo Horvat.
What?
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Goes to the New York Islanders.
For what?
Anthony Beauvillier.
Uh-huh. That's not it.
No,
right?
it's not.
Oh, okay.
Eetu Raty.
Really?
Yes.
He's like their top prospect.
And a first-round pick.
I had to finish my beer. Well, there you go, folks. That's breaking news. It will not be breaking news by the time this episode comes out, but that's crazy. So, let's just
the conditions of the first-round pick are if it's in the top 12, it's next
protected.
It's protected.
I don't think it would be. The Islanders aren't quite that bad.
But but it's a draft. It's a lottery if they don't make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, but that could be between 13 and 16 too.
Right. So they just have
That's
a better...
crazy. Wow. I can't believe Huh. All right,
What the shit?
All right, let's just take a pause. Colorado, we'll get back to you in 1 second. So Bo Horvat to the Islanders for Anthony Beauvillier, who I don't think was doing much this year. Aatu Raty.
He's speed.
Yeah, he is very fast. And he's on the younger side too.
Yes, he is.
Aatu Raty, or I think that's how you say his name.
Aaturaty.
Yeah. Who I believe is one of their top forward prospects.
Yes.
And a first-round draft pick.
So that means...
Conditional-ish first-round draft pick.
That means it's looking like Horvat is going to extend. Because you don't send that without guaranteeing an extension.
I don't know what the Islanders' cap space looks like. But maybe, if I am correct that that Martin, Cizikas, and Clutterbuck, at least a couple of them, I think are UFAs at the end of this year. If I'm correct in that frees up enough space that they might be able to sign Bo Horvat.
Well, the Islanders just freed up $1 million and $1,350,000
for Beauvillier.
Yeah.
Because
he was on.
That's interesting. Well, let the arms race begin. I guess.
No, sorry, they gunked up that $1 million because Horvat makes $1 million more than Beauvillier. That's my bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
So
Interesting.
yeah,
I don't.
that's scoring that they need.
Yeah.
But he has to gel.
He has to gel. I'm sure he'll play with. He's going to be their number one center.
He's got to.
He's got to be, because I think Barzell plays center too, but he can also play wing. I would slot Bo Horvat right into the top line center, or at least top two, obviously.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I don't know how to feel about that right now.
I don't know. This might be a good move for Vancouver.
Yeah, they got quite a bit for him. I will say, this is with the not the ability of hindsight. Who knows how Beauvillier and Ratti will play for them, or what that first round draft pick turns into. But that's a pretty good haul for him.
Yeah.
That's a top forward prospect, a younger roster player in Beauvillier, and a potential solid first round draft pick.
And you get a captain level guy from
for the Islanders.
Horvat,
Yeah. And if they can re-sign him for, I mean, I don't know what he would be asking for. I know
probably $8.
I know what Vancouver offered him, and he turned it down.
But
let's say $8. That's not that bad, but it'll be interesting to see how he gels with his Islanders teammates. I mean, look, he could be playing with some combination of Barzell, Brock Nelson, and Anders Lee.
Yeah.
That ain't bad. Those aren't bad line mates to be playing with.
I do want to say, because the reason I found out this trade happened was because we were talking about Buffalo's cap space.
Yeah.
Their projected cap space for next year, I think, is $18 million.
What about this year?
This year, it's 45.
Yeah, so they could take, just rolling it back, they could take Patrick Kane's entire contract.
Yeah.
Not that really matters to Chicago, but I guess they wouldn't have to pay it. But
No, sorry. Projected cap space is 18.
for next year?
No, currently. It's 18. It's
still,
18.
so they could still take him on with
Yeah.
with 7.5 to spare. So,
Yep. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, that really threw me for a loop. I
Yep.
can't believe you broke that news.
Ooh.
Damn. I mean, I'm sure I have alerts about it too, but my phone is on silent. But that's fun.
That is
Isn't
fun.
that fun, gang?
That is
Isn't
fun.
that fun, gang? Damn. Yeah. I feel like it's like,
Currently, the Islanders have $5 million in cap.
oh, they have more than I thought. Is that right now?
Yes.
Okay. That's more than I thought they had, actually. So they could still make another move, too. Maybe, but they've already shifted off their first round pick and one of their top prospects. Yeah. So, I don't know. They might not have, like, the stuff to make another big move, but
Right.
who knows? Stranger things have happened. That's crazy. I want to lean towards saying it's like an okay trade for both teams.
Yeah.
Because who knows what that first round pick could be nothing,
I would
essentially.
say it's a good one for Vancouver.
I would say it's good for both where they are.
I think it's definitely good for Vancouver.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what
the
happens with
Islanders.
with Horvat and the Islanders. He could do nothing with them. He could not gel. He could not sign.
Yeah.
If he doesn't sign, I will say that's a pretty bad trade.
Yes.
If they don't extend him, I will say I don't think that's a good trade. But on the flip side, if Beauvillier and Ratti and whatever that first round draft pick turns into do nothing for Vancouver, then it's kind of a wash. Crazy.
Fun fact, 10 years ago, Lou Lamoriello traded the 9th overall pick for Corey Schneider. That pick ended up being Bo Horvat. Now Lou has both Bo Horvat and Corey Schneider is in the Islander system.
That's right. That's insanity.
Yes.
All right. That's crazy. That was I think our very first breaking news.
Yeah.
Of an episode.
Because normally we don't look at our phones during an
Normally
episode.
not. Yeah, we try not to. There you go. Huh. Well, we'll see how that works out.
Right.
For specifically the Islanders. I mean, or Vancouver, it's like whatever.
Right.
But like, that's not going to pay dividends this year for Vancouver. But we'll see how he plays for the Islanders. Maybe he'll play really well.
I mean, he's already playing well for Vancouver.
Yeah, that's true. He was playing pretty well for Vancouver.
He's still having a career year.
Huh. Wow. All right. Well, let's continue on with Colorado. They beat Washington 3-2. Logan O'Connor had 2 assists in this game. Well, Georgiev was 37 of 39 in this game. They then confusingly lost to Anaheim 5-3.
Yes.
Where they outshot Anaheim 44-32. Rantanen had 2 goals, and Sam Girard had a goal and an assist. And then they beat St. Louis 4-2.
Yes.
Where Logan O'Connor had 2 assists again. And weirdly enough, he's one of their top players, Logan O'Connor, and so is Sam Girard. Girard had a goal and 3 assists, while O'Connor had 4 assists on the week.
Good for them.
Look at them. Look at them.
Look at them. And there was almost a goalie fight.
Almost.
Well, there is a chance that Binnington was doing that to fire up his team because...
It didn't work this week.
Well, it worked a little bit because Colorado was up 3-0.
Oh, okay.
When he did that.
Still lost, though.
I mean, they still came 2 goals back. They made it close.
That's fair.
That 4th goal was an empty net.
That's fair.
I think.
Let's move on to maybe my favorite week that anyone had. The Dallas Stars went 0-0-3.
Got them points, baby.
They lost every game this week 3-2 in overtime.
What?
Every single game was 3-2 in overtime. They lost to Buffalo 3-2 in overtime, Carolina 3-2 in overtime, and the New Jersey Devils 3-2 in overtime.
I wasn't paying attention when you talked about these games.
I know. What a weird week Dallas just had. The only player of note was Joe Pavelski having 2 assists against Buffalo, and they do not have a top player. It's such a weird week for Dallas. Let's move on to Minnesota, who went 2-1 this week. They started off their week by losing to Tampa Bay 4-2, where Joel Eriksson Ek had a goal and an assist. They then beat Philly in overtime, which I mentioned previously, 3-2. Matthew Boldy had 2 goals and an assist, and Matt Zuccarello had the overtime game winner and an assist on top of that.
Good for that new contract. Boldy.
Yeah, for
also,
Boldy.
Zuccarello's goal was sick.
Yeah, was it good?
Oh, it was
I didn't
nice.
see a replay of it. They then beat Buffalo in a shootout 3-2 as well. Marc-Andre Fleury, 29 of 31. And Minnesota was 3 for 3 in the shootout.
Yeah.
Zuccarello, Kaprizov, and Goudreau, that's Freddie Goudreau, Freddie Hockey, all scored in the shootout.
Yeah, Freddie sealed it.
Freddie sealed it in the end. Matthew Boldy is their top player with 2 goals and 2 assists this week. Looking good.
Yeah.
Looking good. Looking good, feeling good. Nashville only played 2 games this week, but they won both of them.
That's what you need to do.
They beat Winnipeg 2-1, where UC Saros was 32 of 33. They then beat the New Jersey Devils 6-4.
It's crazy because you don't think of Nashville as a team with a lot of offense.
No, you do not,
6-4.
because they don't normally.
And they normally have a good defense.
Yeah,
And
true. And they gave up 4 goals that game, yeah. Sissons and Parsonen each had 2 assists in that game against New Jersey, while Matt Duchene had a goal and an assist. Tanner Jeannot and Cody Glass are their top players this week with 2 goals apiece.
Good for them.
Yeah. All right, St. Louis. Oh, boy.
Boo.
0-3
They
this
look
week.
like poop.
They are, I don't know if St. Louis has just given up this year, because they're like pretty far back at this point. And, they lost to Buffalo 5-3. Torrey Krug and Justin Falk each had 2 assists in this game. They then got shut out by Arizona, and then lost to Colorado 4-2. Neither of those games have anything of note for St. Louis. And they don't have a top player. St. Louis is just
Treading water, maybe?
They're not even doing that. Yeah, they're not having a good year. I think this year is kind of a wash for the Blues. I don't know. Trade Tarasenko, maybe O'Reilly, see what you can get.
Yeah.
Retain money if you gotta. I mean, they're free agents in the offseason anyway.
Tarasenko keeps going back and forth whether or not he wants to be there.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just try to reload going forward for St. Louis. I think this year is pretty much
a wash.
Over. Yeah. Winnipeg. Their season is not a wash.
They got a cup though, so it's fine.
St. Louis did. You're right. They did. Very recently, 3 years ago?
2019.
Yeah. So, yeah. Got a cup. So that's a win. That was the first one ever.
Yep.
So that's pretty good. Winnipeg.
Who doesn't have a cup?
Who does not have a cup, but does have a much better normal record than the Blues. They also went 0-3 this week.
Mm-hmm.
This season is not a wash for Winnipeg. This is just a bad week for them. They lost to Nashville 2-1, where Connor Hellebuck tried his best, but he was 39 for 41, but got no goal support in front of him. They then lost to Buffalo 3-2, where silver lining Blake Wheeler had 2 assists, and then they got shut out by Philly. Alex Tuch
made Hellebuck look stupid. I showed you that.
Oh yeah, you did.
I showed you that goal.
That was pretty bad.
Thompson scored, but
that was also bad defense, just kind of in general by Winnipeg. And then they got shut out by Philly 4-0, and they also do not have a top player. They only scored 3 goals this week.
Boo.
Yeah. As for the news, we already talked about the trade that happened. Tyler Johnson of Chicago is on the IR with an ankle injury, and Arizona signed Valimaki to a 1-year, $1 million extension.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's been playing okay for them.
Yeah.
But that's it for this week, week 16. Yeah, hey, you had some breaking news. You had some
2 trades.
Two trades. Well, one of them happened as we were speaking.
Right.
And had our normal tangents and meanders into nothing really relevant, but just us talking to each other.
That's what
that's what you listen for, right?
Yeah.
But we appreciate you guys listening as always. Just a reminder, next week's probably going to be a fairly short episode.
Yep.
Just because we don't really have anything to talk about. Maybe some more trades will happen. Who knows? I wasn't expecting Bo Horvat to get traded during the All-Star break, but that's crazy. You can find us wherever podcasts are found. You guys already know that.
Like, review, subscribe.
Wherever applicable, tell your friends, tell your family, because we talking about pucks out here, and we will see you next week at the same puck time.
Same puck place.
Bye-bye.
Bye.